Hello there everybody, Reggie Time here, with another hand that I just played it today at the 50-0 full ring tables on Triple Eight. It says Zoom, it wasn't Zoom, it's just how the hand histories are recorded. So we have the hand here and we get raised by a pretty weak tight sort of player from the bottom. He min raises, he only has a 19% steal, but that's mostly because he hasn't stole at all from the sort of small blind up to now. So I guess against this player, if there was a weaker player in the blinds, I would just call him for sure. But with there being probably one of the better players at the table, and probably one of the better players in the 50-0 full ring pool in the big blind, I didn't really want to give him the opportunity to squeeze. I didn't really want to play my hand multi-way either, and I'd rather take the initiative with the hand, particularly against somebody who I think might be a little bit weak tight. And who might just overfold in this spot, even though his 4-3 bet currently is 0 and 3. These weak type players, they eventually find faults at some point. So I was happy just to go ahead and make a 3 bet. Kind of hoping to take it down now, but even if we get 4 bet, we've got a super easy fall from this type of play. We're not even concerned about that. But we get called, which wasn't entirely a huge surprise. And it looks like we need to go to work post flop. And we get a pretty decent flop for our hand in terms of like we can represent the king with the c bet, and we can certainly make him fold parts of his range that are ahead of us. But also we get some equity too. We get a good shot, we've got backdoor flush draw. So it's not the most discouraging flop we could have seen. So I elected to make what I thought was a pretty standard c bet. Could have made it bigger, I think, against this type of player, who might just have enough in his hand that's calling that. I don't know, for example, if he has a hand like pocket sevens, he might peel for 3, he might fall for 5, that type of thing. I'm not sure how true that is. I'm not sure if people's calling range in the flop are that dictated to by how big we bet. But I've been earning my c bets on the smaller side in 3 bet pots these days, so I was happy to continue with that. And I kind of was hoping he might fall pocket 8s, pocket 7s. Don't expect him to fold a 10. Clearly he's never going to fold a king. I don't expect him to fold any 2 Broadway cards that are a good shot. Ace Jack, Ace Queen, that type of thing. Obviously not going to fold any flush draws, but I think there's some certain hands we can definitely get him to fold here. But we also have the backdoor equity, which we can definitely use to be aggressive on future streets if one of those cards comes. And we did get called. And we did hit one of the better cards for us. So now we have an open and straight draw. And I think maybe hitting a jack might be good now too, if we get to the river. Because maybe he just has 10x. Maybe he has a weak king, who knows, maybe he has king queen. King jack suited, that type of thing. Not that many king jack suited. He can have king jack and diamonds, king jack and clubs. So it's not an ideal situation. We've been called twice now. We've been showing aggression, so it's quite clear our opponent has something he kind of likes, because as I said at the start, these weak type players, I kind of like trying to push them around a little bit and just make them fall at some point. And there's a lot of cards I would just have given up on here. I think the 8 and ace and the heart would have been the only cards I would have continued on. And I did elect to continue. We bet 650, and if I remember correctly, he called us pretty quickly, which kind of indicated to me he might have some kind of draw or a not weak made hand, but a made hand that he wasn't ever contemplating raising. So I don't think he has sets at this point. For example, I think he would at least think about it with a set, like a set of 3s or a set of 10s or a set of 8s, which you can definitely have. But he didn't. He called pretty quickly, so I thought 10x, king x, like king jack, that type of thing, or a draw. So my question then was, am I going to empty the clip on the river? What rivers do we want to bet? What rivers don't we want to bet? And I was kind of thinking about that, and the time got down a little bit when the river actually came, because I thought that's kind of a good river for us because it reduces the chance of him having a king. We can have more kings than he can have, but it doesn't change very much. So Are we going to bluff here? Are we going to empty the clip? If we are going to bluff, what kind of size are we going for? Are we going to try and blow them away and really bomb it? Or are we going to make like a value bet type bluff? Like, I don't know, like a smallish 40% pot sort of size bluff, just to try and, not to try and make you fold the 10, but to try and make you fold these draws that we're ahead of, something that we're behind to, like it's some kind of flush draws that we've got a higher card than Jack. Pocket nines, maybe pocket jacks, but seems unlikely. Pocket sevens, that type of thing. Maybe 10x, who knows? Maybe he folds 10x eventually, maybe he taps out. But do we bluff here? And if you do bluff, why do you bluff? What parts of the range are you trying to make you fold? And what size would you use to do that? And if you wouldn't bluff, why wouldn't you bluff? Just think about, what do you think he's not folding here? Obviously he's not folding a king. Is there anything else he's not folding, in your opinion? So there we go, there's the hand. I hope you've enjoyed it. And please do get involved with the discussion. And if you have been liking these hands that I've been posting, and you don't have anyone to really talk to about poker, and you'd like to have these kind of discussions with me, please do consider just taking a look at my website and consider getting in touch with me. But that's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed the hand, and please do leave comments whenever you find it. Thank you very much, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye for now.